Hello. I am not sure which channel this will be going on yet. Either Madalada or Madalada Munden, obviously, but I'm not sure. I'm thinking Madalada because it's about my difficulties with maths. But I'm not quite sure yet. I have work in the morning. I've still got nail polish on that I need to remove before I can go to bed because I know I won't have time in the morning. Yeah, I've been sat here trying to do my maths homework and I've gave it a good go, but it's now 12 o'clock at night and I think it's time to go to bed soon, but I just wanted to make a video, I guess, talking about my difficulties with maths because I've been very hard on myself about the fact me and maths, the subject, do not get on. Me and maths are not friends. Hello. So I've been sat here doing my maths homework, but it's getting to a point where it is less valuable to do it on my own and try and do it on my own because I'm stuck. Probably give it a go, but it's late and it's big multiplication numbers and it's getting late and my brain already disagrees with maths, so a tired brain is not really gonna agree with it either. But that being said, I am proud of myself because I did well in my lesson and I then came home and attempted some more of the booklet, which is more than I would usually do. I'd usually just come home and forget about it. So I'm proud of myself, but I think it's time to stop now because I'm just getting emotional and I definitely would think if I'm getting emotional, and I think we've had a good time, now time to put it aside before it's too much, and try again later. And it's genuinely frustrating, like, when I am trying my hardest and my brain is just like, nah, and then it gets to a point where I'm like, I give up. But I had a good lesson. My first maths lesson back went well. Well, as well as it could go. My fatigue behaved itself, so I didn't fall asleep or nearly fall asleep in class. And yeah, I came home and I did some homework, which is very unlike me. I sat here and I did some maths at the kitchen table, which is very not like me. So for that, I think I did good, and I'm almost at the end of the book, but we're now on the multiplication and division part, and it's big numbers, and I need to take a break, you know. I did 3 hours of maths, then came home and did more maths, and I came home at about 9-ish o'clock, and it's now 12 o'clock at night. I think my brain needs a break from maths, you know. And like, that's okay. I know that, like, the other frustrating thing is I'm not diagnosed with like math dyslexia, dyscalculia, but the frustrating thing was in school I did the dyscalculia test and they said, okay, it's not dyscalculia, but there is definitely something wrong. And then the school didn't look into it, just didn't. They were just like, yeah, there's something wrong, but oh wow. And they gave me a card that said, Maddie has difficulty in maths, and that was it. Just let people be aware of the fact that my brain has a difficulty with maths. That was it. There was the support I had was basically Maddie struggles, and it was like, okay, you know? I have always struggled with maths for as long as I can remember. I've always had issues with processing maths. And when I was younger, I probably just didn't want to know because I didn't understand it. But as I've gotten older, it's become abundantly clear that I just can't really process it that well. And I'm trying to get my maths. I want to get my maths. But even if I do get the actual grade on a piece of paper, I don't think I will ever not have complications with maths. Even if a grade says I can do maths, I know deep down I can't. Do bits and pieces sometimes, but most of the time, me and maths, no, it's not going to happen. I get the basics muddled up, I can't process, my memory for maths is appalling, so like, I could know how to do something and then just, it'll be gone. I get things muddled up. My numbers, I get muddled up, like 6 and 9, 7 and 3s are a good example. Too many numbers together is too much. There are some examples I'm going to put throughout this video that I took today talking on my story on my Instagram, not on the Madalada Munden -2 Instagram, on my personal Instagram. I was venting and I decided it might be good for other people to see that like they're not alone, because I know myself, I have really struggled with just feeling stupid and beating myself up for something that isn't my fault. I'm just not good at maths. My brain just doesn't like maths. And like, I was a part of an extra little maths group in school, but looking back, it wasn't very helpful, because if you just put more maths in front of me and then don't actually support me, it's like saying to someone that's like struggling, like, here, have this, and you're like, okay, now what? And they're like, do it, and it's like, what? Well, you struggle with it, so do more of it till you're good at it. And it's like, okay, but I'm still struggling with, yeah, we know you have a difficulty, but do it, do it, do it. And it's like, okay, I can't, but thanks. You know, it was kind of like that. It was like, we know you struggle, just give it a go. Oh, yeah, we know you have a difficulty, but you gave it a go. And it's like, okay, that's not helpful in the slightest. Without an official diagnosis, I can tell you I definitely have maths processing issues, because people said before, like, yeah, there's definitely a processing issue, but it's not dyscalculia. But this was back when I was younger, and I'm hoping that through like the college I'm going to, they can help me, because my maths lecturer actually said today that actually go to the people and like see if they can get you like a diagnosis basically for dyscalculia. But if they can't diagnose you with dyscalculia, I hope they at least tell me what's wrong, because I'm not being funny, but there is definitely some processing issues going on, and I would like to get to the bottom of it, because it's frustrating. Even if I can't be cured, I would like to at least know why everything is so hard, you know? Like, why I've always struggled so much. Another thing I want to mention is I sometimes, well, not sometimes, all the time, I can't process a lot at once when I'm doing maths. Like, for example, if I'm trying to do maths and you start talking to me, my brain is just going to glitch out. It's too much. It can't handle it. Or it will get confused, or like it'll make me stop. Like, I think the main issue with maths is even when I know what I'm doing, my processing lets me down, because I struggle to process it. Like, even if I know what I'm doing, my brain sometimes just makes mistakes, and sometimes, a lot of the time, and misprocesses stuff and gets numbers wrong. If there's too many numbers together at once, my brain just can't compute it, and I think that's my main issue, is even when I know what I'm doing, I can't process. Okay, this is just something I wanted to mention here. This is a question where you were supposed to like then take away from the £10 note, but sometimes I make mistakes like this, like I started adding it by accident instead of taking it away. And like I can read, I knew that it was take away, but my brain still started adding it instead of subtracting it. That's one of my struggles, is like even when I've read the question, I'm like, okay, £10, and then I know to take these numbers, but then where I've taken these numbers, I've then started adding them instead of subtracting them. And I noticed, well, I was like, wait, this number's getting bigger, not smaller. And then I realised, oh wait, that's because I'm doing the process for addition, not subtraction. And this is what I mean by like, sometimes my brain just literally gets confused and like frazzles out. Like stuff like this to me happens all the time with maths. And that's one of the reasons I think I struggle so much, is because I get so confused. Another big one for me is counting. Like, I know how to count, obviously. Like, I know the process of counting. But inside my brain, I really struggle. Like, it's like I really struggle. Or I have to recount stuff because I just don't trust I've done it right in the first place. Or I skip numbers. And it's like, if I'm saying it out loud, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm not gonna skip a number. But in here, counting inside my actual head, like the actual just thoughts in my head, oh my god, I kid you not, I've literally been like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then had to start again, because in here, it really struggles. Like if I'm counting out loud, it helps, but in here, it just, no, you know, stuff like that, it's annoying. And I feel like that's another issue with exams, is because obviously in an exam I can't just start going 1, 2, 3, like I can't do that. And I can't talk out loud in an exam, but it doesn't compute in here very well. Like in my actual brain, like just thinking about maths, it doesn't compute very well. I would probably get more of the answers correct if I could talk out loud. But I'm not allowed to talk out loud in an exam. Like, I'm not allowed to talk. But I can't mentally process it very well. But verbally, I can process it a bit better than I can mentally, if that makes sense. Like, it's still not brilliant. Don't get me wrong. I'm not, like, suddenly a maths genius when I'm speaking. But, like, in here versus out loud, there's a dramatic difference. And I feel like that's also another reason that I get so let down, is because everything has to be in here and not out here, you know? And my last point, literally, I've been staring at this bit for a minute because I couldn't be on my phone and do the maths at the same time. Like I said, like it's too much at once. I need to literally, like, 6 minus 9, 6, see what I mean? That is clearly 9 minus 6, and my brain was like 6 minus 9. But I swear, I'm just showing up all my maths flaws today. I struggle with processing numbers, I get them switched up, and I struggle with, like, I have to literally stop and just focus on this, and, like, I literally have to think about it. Like, even though that's really simple, 9 minus 6, even though that's really simple, my brain is just struggling to process it because I'm doing too much at once. And it's struggling to process it anyways, because it just called it a 6 and a 9, the wrong way around. Anyways, I'm going to stop waffling on about maths, but what made me want to talk about this is because I kind of have a pet peeve of, like, number one, I'll call myself stupid for not getting maths, but if like somebody else said the exact same problems to me, like from their perspective, I wouldn't go, oh, you're so stupid. I would be like, oh no, that's understandable. But to myself, I'm like, oh my god, you're so stupid. And another thing that really grinds my gears, and it happened in maths class today, is people calling like the foundational maths, like the basics, easy. And it's like, I understand that they're supposed to be easy, but to me, it's not. And it makes me feel like embarrassed when people go, oh, that's so easy, because it's like, Yeah, I know, but tell my brain that, you know? But yeah, thank you for listening. One more thing, because like, I just want to vent. Another thing that really upsets me is when people go, well, if you just concentrated, then you'd get maths. It's like, even when I'm sat there concentrating, I'm still making mistakes. I'm still misprocessing. I have so many like difficulties with maths, and like, it's not through lack of effort. Like, yeah, I'll admit sometimes my eyes will just glaze over, but even when I'm trying to like pay attention or like concentrate or try, my brain will still have moments where it just completely, not even moments, a lot of the time my brain will just start glitching out and doing the wrong things, even when I'm trying my absolute hardest. As I think one of my biggest pet peeves is people saying to me, yeah, well, if you just focused, you'd get it by now. It's like, no, I wouldn't, because my brain literally rejects maths. So one of the reasons I want to get tested for dyscalculia, because... And I also understand why it was so easy for me growing up to be like, well, I don't understand what you're saying, so I'm not going to try. I don't blame younger me for literally, after a while, getting frustrated. I still get frustrated. After a while, I'll admit, even at 21 years old, if I still don't understand what you're saying in maths, I want to give up, because it's hard to pay attention to something and concentrate for a long period of time on something I genuinely don't understand or I'm not processing. And another thing that really is a downfall of mine is my memory. Even if I spend like a whole lesson, I get it, I understand it, I go in next lesson, it's gone. My brain doesn't like maths. It really doesn't. And like, so that's why I really do want to try and get some more support this year for maths. But yeah, thank you for listening, and I'm genuinely going to be quiet now. Have a good evening. Started off as 12s and started going up in 24s. For God's sake. I kid you not, I didn't even process that until just now. A 6 is there. Do you see that 6? Because my brain didn't. It saw 7 minus... This is what I mean by, like, too many numbers at once. Like, my brain just was like, no, this doesn't exist. I kid you not, I literally didn't see the 6. I can see it now, clear as day, but I didn't see it before. And it's frustrating. It's so frustrating. Another thing that just happened is I just went to divide that instead of subtract. That is a subtraction, but my brain read it as divide, and I literally went to do the question like, oh, how the hell am I going to divide that into that? And then I was like, wait a minute, that's a subtraction, so I'm not going to do that anyways. We love, sorry, I'm just venting about my brain, because honestly, I hate it. I wish it wasn't like this, but it is, so yeah. I just wanted to talk about it. It's annoying, people, it's annoying. My pen just died. Joy. I still got more of the booklet to do, because I want to do it tonight while I have the motivation for maths.